I found the experience of being incarcerated, I found it like an empty experience. It's a fight to continue to exist in there. And so you're inside this belly of this kind of hopeless, dismal institution. The vacuum, the absence of feeling like I was doing anything to work towards paying anything back, had me searching.
I spent 15 years in prison, and I knew that there was something else I needed. I took every program DLC had to offer, and it didn't do nothing for me. I went to counseling, I went to church, I went to mass, I tried all these different things, drugs, everything, violence, everything, and no voids were filled. And then at 25, I walk into this group. And now, since then, my whole life has been changed.
What drew me to restorative justice was trying to get personal justice for the loss of my son. I came to restorative justice to be restored, to be healed, to find justice through my own personal healing, because I knew that the court system and that the legal system would never give me justice. As a survivor, I get to say what justice would be like for me. And for so long in this world, other people got to say what justice looked like. It looks like maybe prison, or it looks like death, or it looks like, but no one asked me. And I think that's what is being emboldened here, is survivors are getting to say, what does justice look like for me? What would make me feel whole? And I know, beyond a shadow of doubt, that some other survivor will not maybe define justice as the way I do, and that's okay.
HEAL is the first restorative justice practice-based group I became involved in. Being in community with others that have made that same commitment to just bare their soul and to learn together, I was struck by the connection between being in a community of people that haven't just caused harm, but the direct relation, it feels like, of all the ways they've been harmed.
It is of service to survivors and their healing process when we humanize people who have harmed them. There's this fundamental way that punitive systems say that the needs and humanity of people who have carried out harm are fundamentally at odds with the needs and humanity of people who've experienced harm. That is just simply not true. First of all, what we know is that folks who are carrying out harm are by and large also harmed and have not had that harm tended well. So if we're thinking about survivors, we're actually mostly including people who have done the harm as survivors. Maybe not of this exact moment that we're talking about, but of histories and moments that, particularly because they haven't been tended and held well, have then created this next iteration of harm that gets passed on. Coming back into relationship potentially with the people who've harmed you, there are some people who that will never be right for, and there's never a pressure to do that. But I think being held well by people is just such a fundamental part of what restorative justice can offer to anybody in any place in their process, no matter what their emotions are.
I was 25, and they brought a program to the prison system called HEAL. And we showed up on these groups at Wednesday nights in various parts of the prison. This is kind of like when I first understood restorative justice and was like, oh, like I harmed somebody. That really happened. Before, I think that I was just hurt and hurting other people, and when you don't know better, you don't do better. I would have kept committing those harms without HEAL. HEAL stopped me in my tracks. HEAL was like, hey, wait a minute. You matter before we get any farther than that. But on top of you mattering, other people matter too. But in order for you to know other people matter, you gotta love yourself first, and you gotta know you matter.
Toxic masculinity, right? Men ain't supposed to cry. You got to be hard. You got to always have that tough exterior going. Don't let them know what you're feeling. Man, to just begin to shed that armor, that pseudo armor, I would call it, that false armor, and then to say, okay, I trust y'all. This is a bond.
Everything is an invitation. Everything is a gift. HEAL won't pull anything out of you. Restorative justice won't pull out anything out of you that you're not ready or willing to give.
The circle process itself allows you to do more listening than speaking, and I've never realized how much power there is in listening to so many people in one space. It's a space where everyone's the teacher and everyone's the learner.
Throughout the healing circles, it was hard because, you know, you're coming out of that old you, and now you're coming into a new you, and now as you're new, now you're healing, and you're healing people around you, because this is what this is all about. It's not just about the circle. Now it's about what you do after the circle. Like, how are you healing? How are you transforming? How are you representing, you know, our family? It's the family I never had. My father was a gang member that was murdered, and my mother was a prostitute that OD'd on heroin and is gone. So I don't know what family's like, but man, I got mine now, you know?
It's easy to continue to keep going the way we've been going. I guess what we need to ask ourselves, and what restorative justice and collective justice has been doing, is asking, is what we've been doing really working? As having spent so much time in the system, I can tell you, it's my experience, that it isn't.
I don't have to wait till my healing is over to be useful. And so collective justice uses all of us who are here, in no matter what stage we are, that we're useful to this work, we're useful to our communities. We can solve these problems together. It's not them and they and us and those people, that it's all of us together, it's we. That work is so important for restorative justice because it allows the community to do work so that we can prepare ourselves to bring these people back into the community.
I think the system sells the story that survivors' best hope of healing is the long-term incarceration of the people who've harmed them. I think that survivors need to be held in their anger and despair and rage while not being supported to take that pain and weaponize it towards others. And that's what the criminal legal system does really well, is it says this pain you're feeling, the answer to that is for someone else to feel pain. And so supporting survivors to see that transformative accountability practices for the people who've harmed them actually adds to their own healing process.
I would want survivors to know, you deserve a life again. You deserve to be seen whole. I think restorative justice sees you as whole, doesn't see you broken, and you deserve that. Joy is possible. That's what I would say to a survivor. You can smile again.